Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes have foiled a robbery inside the Bastion of Failure and are trying to solve its own mysteries. Butthole brought one of the thieves back to life while Quinny captured the ringleader without killing him. And Juniper suggested a work release program as punishment for their crimes. What will happen now that our heroes have found the mysterious Clomp Samsonite? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
You're staring down a troll in a painting smock, surrounded by ruined canvases, with an easel, several more blank canvases near him, and one of those circular paint palettes on one hand. He's wearing a big fuzzy wig, and he's just looking at you with awe, having declared that you are his muses. He just says, friends, come on in, please. I've been waiting for someone to come give me some inspiration, but this place is just so devoid of it. So plain. I can't believe a man with that much wealth and power just built the basic model of a castle, you know? It's like he didn't have any artistic bones in his body. Such a shame. Come on in.
Well, it's nice to meet you, new friend. My name's Butthole. This is Juniper, and this is Quinny. Now, are you Clomp Samsonite?
Oh, no, I get confused for my brother all the time, though. I'm Bob Samsonite. I'm a troll.
Congratulations. I'm a human. Quinny's a halfling, and Juniper is currently human, but can identify in a variety of manners.
Oh, nifty. All right. Well, come on in. I got to tell you, I'm having some difficulty figuring out exactly what to paint, and it's making me mad. Yeah, but you guys can help with that, right?
Maybe. Hey, just out of curiosity, what are you going to do when you get that painting just right? What's your kind of next step after that?
I'll probably just start another one. You know, I like to live in the moment. You know,
start another one somewhere else, or
I figure I might go hang it up in my old home. You know, just a little reminder that I was there. You know, just put my little stamp on it. We didn't have fancy art supplies back where I come from, so I figured, you know, I'd just come up here and borrow some from the wealthy who don't seem to be paying any attention to us little guys, even when, you know, we were struggling. And then I'll just take one down there, and then maybe I'll go sell my paintings elsewhere. You know, we trolls, we live a long time, and I know Clomp's always talking about that. So I guess I got a lot of time to paint.
Well, I mean, how would you like to paint two people who have literally died and gone to hell and then come back?
Well, yeah, all right.
To prove it.
Well, wait, but like, are you happy? I gotta tell you, we Samsonites got a little bit of an anger problem that I'm trying to, take care of with these here paintings. I was told by a man once, very tasty man, that I should try and work through some of my rage problems. So that's what I've been trying to do by painting these happy little trees. But I guess I could paint some like sad hellbound folk, but I don't know if that might set me off. You know,
what if you
want to have? If you want a happy subject, this is like the happiest guy I know. And I gestured.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Guy's so happy he loves the smell of his own farts.
Well, that's quite something. That's kind of disgusting, but all right.
Also, I have a cute wolf, and he points to Goblin Jr., who I think at this point just looks kind of like a terrifying war wolf, but he's got such a chipper energy.
He's like, yeah, all right. Well, you know, as a troll, lifelong troll, I know all too well what it's like when people, think you're a monster and stuff. So yeah, I understand that.
All right. So what if I wear
Brian,
him?
Can you roll me an insight, please?
Yes. That is 17.
He sure is saying he's a troll a lot.
I support you in being whatever you want to be. So, yes, I will pose for a painting. Like, Butthole's literally running through his head where he's like, well, I don't want
I don't want to like out him as a not troll if he's a troll, but if he thinks he's a troll, then he's a troll. But is he lying to us, or is this just a different way of identity? This is like the identity politics have just like spun his brain into I stand near paint.
All right, great. Well, I'll just draw you. Just make sure you don't move, or I'll have to make you not move like some of my previous subject. And Quinny, I think you're picking up on these like subtle tones, perhaps more than others. As you look around some of the paintings, like there are definitely like what kind of look like dead bodies depicted in some of them.
Right. Yeah. What else is in this room?
It's a gallery space. So there's a lot of paintings on the walls, as well as like painting supplies. There aren't, like corpses sitting around, if that's what you're asking.
No, just trying to get a better sense of what this guy does in here. Like clearly he paints, but is this like the only room that he spends time in? Like,
so far, yeah, it would seem to be that way. But from what Kron told you, the trolls haven't been here for very long.
Yeah.
They've probably been here for a few days at most.
I'm going to kind of walk around the room, just admire these other paintings, but also like size this guy up from all angles as well as I'm walking around, like see if I can get any other kind of read on him.
Sure.
He seems quite insane, but
yeah, he seems to, I mean, he is very focused on Butthole now and like sizing him up. He's doing the painter thumb thing that people do. As you're looking around, like you can definitely see a lot of like half finished paintings of like different landscapes than this, but they're all snowy. As you walk, though, you do find one kind of like that painting from The Office that Pam does that they put above the door of the winter goods store. And it seems to be the only one that isn't trashed. Yeah, otherwise he just seems to be real committed to his craft. Quinny, weirdly, I would say from him, more so than like his tone and anything else, you've known criminals like this who are really kind of hell-bent on like whatever they want to do, they just do it. And that's the vibe you're getting from this guy. Like he just seems to be one of those people who's just like, oh, like I want a thing and I'm going to do it. And of course, with troll strength, that is a very concerning quality. But yeah, that's what you're getting from him.
So, Bob, what's your brother Clomp been up to?
Clomp? Well, I got to tell you, I haven't seen him since we took residence here. He kept saying something about trying to find the lab upstairs, and he was bumbling around trying to find, all of Duke Fane's secrets up there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Clomp's got some pretty strong ideas, about the nature of life and death and aging, and he just kept going on about that. But me, I want to live in the moment. That's what my therapist said before I ate him. I mean, before I fired him, for giving me the same advice over and over again. But
sounds like that was a shit therapist.
It really, he was. He had some value in the end, though, as it turns out.
How long ago did you have to fire that guy? Like, how long have you been looking for a replacement therapist?
Oh, no, I'm good. I think the painting's kind of my therapy these days. But him, well, let's see. He stopped by our old place. I guess it was about a week ago. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And this is your old place here, and I'll lift up the painting showing Clomp's.
Well, I mean that's a fairly personal question, but yeah, those are our old stomping grounds. Before we all. As you grow, things start to feel a little small. So we had to move to some bigger places. It wasn't, we didn't leave the place in a great state, though. I gotta tell you, a few of our employees had a fairly severe severance. If you understand, it's hard to let people go when you run a business, I'm sorry, what was that there, Sheriff?
Well, you said severance. I was just wondering if there was a double meaning there.
Well, I mean, that would be awfully revealing of a crime, I believe, Sheriff, and wouldn't want to confess to that now, would I? And he like taps the side of his nose and just gets paint all over it.
I thought it was good and healthy for artists to be vulnerable.
And he actually like stops and kind of like looks at you in a new light. He says, "Well, what do you know? I thought maybe these two were my muses, but I think I was wrong. Yeah, I suppose we should be vulnerable. Well, your friend here said you changed. Are you? What's your deal? Have you gone through any major changes?"
Well, frequently. I mean, I've got two people inside me right now that literally that's why sometimes I talk a little bit Western.
Oh, hey. All right. Well, I'm just me. I've always just been Bob, but, and he kind of like looks to both of you, Quinny and Butthole, and then just like shuffles up and leans down, speaking at full volume, but with his hand in front of his mouth. And he's just like, yeah, I changed too. Clomp was real worried about, the Grim Reaper approach. And so he found this amazing little trick that gave us all these fine troll bodies, So we're all gonna thrive. So it's just a little bit different, So long story short, had to get rid of some. Hey, sorry guys, just have a conversation over here, a quiet conversation that's not for all ears. Yeah, so we had to, some of the folks at the trading post weren't too happy about this new direction, but Clomp was pretty firm. So, we all drank it and here we are, just trolling it up. No one can stop us now.
You drank something and you're a troll?
Wait, what? No, hey. It's rude to eavesdrop.
Oh, I thought he was speaking to me.
Sorry. No, he was just talking to Juniper with his hand up, but was like talking at full volume.
I mean, well, we can. Yeah. I mean, geez, I can be a troll if you want me to.
No, I mean that's fine. Look, I this has been nice and all. I got to get back to my paintings. Your friend here is still posing, and honestly, he's the first one I haven't broken. So you'll excuse me. And he goes and begins to paint Butthole's picture.
Juniper, I've got a gut feeling that this potion he drank, I bet it would beat even true sight. I bet it's that good. We wouldn't know what's underneath that artist's facade. He's mysterious, like all artists are. Just a gut feeling in my gut, in my tummy.
Right. I mean, what?
Roll a Constitution save.
8.
No, man, you swallowed a metal eye. It's not going anywhere.
Other end?
Not yet.
Excuse me.
And I look at Quinny, I'm sure it would be, I agree.
I think Butthole is just, he can't say anything. And it just in his head, he's like, oh, I really hope Quinny stabs this guy soon. The moment he puts together, this guy ate someone in the last week, Butthole's like, oh, this guy is dead. We're just playing along till somebody gets the drop on him. But it can't be Butthole because he was stupid enough to be the one to pose.
So the picture's coming together. It doesn't look good, but it is a picture. And Bob is just kind of nodding to himself, being like, yeah, all right, this is going real well. And he kind of leans over his shoulders like, hey, y'all seem like a worldly bunch. My family's kind of lived out here for a long time, so I don't know too much about the art markets of the world. Am I correct in my understanding that paintings sell better if their subject matter is dead? Is that's how paintings get worth more, right?
Actually, they're worth more if the artist is dead. And Quinny summons forth frostbite and will try and stab this guy in the back.
Amazing. It succeeds. You just go straight through his back. He's really focused on the painting. And he just kind of chokes out, coughs some blood onto the painting, and he just kind of turns his head and he says, "Joke's on you. Whole reason Clomp gave us those potions was because trolls regenerate." And he kind of like falls to his knees, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know how fast though."
Yeah, and then his skull just stows in as Moonlight Bringer finishes the job.
And with that, his artistic career is over, and yet his paintings are worth much, much more. But the body falls to the ground. The painting remains somewhat unfinished and admittedly somewhat more valuable.
Does the room have a fireplace, Tom?
Sure.
Or was he just hanging out in the cold? Because if there's a fire burning, I think Butthole's just collecting up this art and burning it. This guy doesn't get to have like a history because he decided killing people for art was cool.
All right. You erase Bob Samsonite and his work from Faerun. Assume pat down the body, then drag it into the fire. Is that about right? Or are you going to eat the heart?
I don't think I'd eat this guy's heart. I mean, if it was up to Butthole, pat down the body, but he doesn't want to burn him in here because we have to live in here later, and like burning hair and troll is probably like a stench you don't want in an enclosed room. So like throw him out a window. Like just take him in the hallway, just and then he.
And I don't know if this heart's any good
pockets?
if this guy wasn't always a troll. You know, I don't know how effective that sauce was.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll look him over for gear though. Gear, coin, and trinkets.
Yeah. So inside the smock, there's pockets, and in them you find a key to the store. You find some kind of rough sketches on the back of receipts from the Samsonite store of, pictures and things. One of them is definitely of like the guy's therapist with like X's through the eyes and like, bad advice, do better. Right. Circled a few times. But
laces out.
I'm sorry?
Said laces out.
Yes, he does seem to have cast some light on both what happened to the store and the nature of Clomp. With the threat of Bob Samsonite ended, you find yourselves alone in his gallery, having cracked one of the windows open against the icy facade outside, and tossing the body. You're alone in the gallery. With a little bit more info about the Samsonite clan and what's going on here. Is there anything you want to do here before you venture upstairs?
Honestly, I think getting upstairs sooner than later would be in our best interest. They talked about a lab and the fact that they drank some kind of potion. Like, who knows what he's cooking up there, his brother.
Yeah, I think knowing that this is such a weird kind of like elaborate place and the lab being upstairs and people have this info, the only thing Butthole would do is do like a pass kind of praying with his moonhammer sense to see if he can find like a secret, like, secret safe, secret door, secret something. Because this whole castle feels really obvious for a necromancer building something. So there's a chance it's one guy alone going like, no zombies, this is what I can do. But there's a chance that there's something that even the Samsonites missed, because they don't seem like the fanciest invaders of a necromancer stronghold.
It was mentioned that the castle appeared to have been built with no imagination.
Right.
True, but that's a really good way to also hide things.
Is Tom frozen now?
No, I'm just waiting on Ryan to roll his snap prayer thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
So thoughtful. I got an 18 on a snap roll, which says there's something hidden. So he's got to really look now.
Well, yes. So you search the room, and there doesn't actually seem to be a trick to this room specifically. That doesn't mean there isn't anywhere. Unlike some of the spaces you've been in, this one, like the art in here that wasn't, made by an evil asshole, seems to be worth some money and actually legitimately like properly adorned. To the point that the library and the gallery so far are the first two rooms that actually, aside from perhaps the cold storage, that actually feel functional in the Undercroft, that feel like someone has actually spent the time to outfit them and has spent time in them.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So I guess if Butthole knows that, he can search the rest of the castle afterwards for exciting religion-driven mysteries. But he would support team Let's Go upstairs.
Okay, amazing. So you make your way back out into the central area, and so there's two ways up. You can go up there's a flight of stairs in the library to the second floor of the library, or you can go up the entranceway stairs. Which one do you take?
Okay, my vote would be library because it feels like that'll be more inside.
Yeah, more like discreet entrance, right?
Yeah, more lived in.
I would
and
think
shit.
so.
Okay, yeah. We'll go up the librairy. Quinny, you can lead and check out in case there's anything you got to unlock or avoid.
All right, give me that sweet stealth, bud.
At 20 on stealth.
The books
Which is a
do not
35
see you
if
coming.
we want to add anything.
Oh, we always want to add. The books do not see you coming as you sneak up the stairs. The second floor is as quiet as the first in terms of the library. Quinny, as you kind of listen, you get the sense it's got the same sound dampening enchantments on it that the entryway did. Yeah, you reach the sort of doorway out into the hall on the second floor. You open it to reveal a long hallway with many doors. It reminds you a bit of an inn, and you get a sense just from looking down that from some of the doors that are ajar, that these are clearly the bedrooms and sort of the sleeping quarters. There are a number of rooms lining this hallway. The library is at the base of it, and then there's sort of like a long, both sides, sort of doors, again in a vaguely inn or hotel-y way. The rooms themselves are a decent size. They're not, massive, but they're a good little room. The ones on the wall with the library have windows that are iced over, sort of looking out over the vistas. The ones on the other side have art in them instead. But yeah, they're small, they're cozy. All of them seem unused. The beds are dressed, but dusty.
Okay.
As you make your way down the hall, you're not hearing any sounds coming from anywhere. You sort of pass through all of these, and you realize that the one piece that's missing is the master bedroom. Does not seem to be amongst these. These seem to be kind of guest rooms or servants' quarters. When you reach the end of the hall, so the north, as you make your way kind of north up the hall, it opens up onto the landing. So obviously you're more cautious as you approach the landing, but there are no immediate sounds that reach your ears other than the crackling of the fire down on the main floor and the sort of wispy breeze coming through the holes in the roof. Looking down the hall, you can see massive ornate double doors on the north wall, sort of in the center, kind of above the throne, if that makes sense. From your estimation, this would likely be a master bedroom if there was to be one. The far end of this landing, there is a rounded singular door that kind of comes. It's wide. It's rounded on the top. And seems to have an elaborate locking mechanism dead center that you can't quite make out from here. If you were to peek around the corner, you would see that this balcony extends around, the second floor balcony extends around the entire kind of great hall space with, again, those little opera box inserts that kind of stand out over the place. But it is very quiet up here.
Huh. I'll double back and make sure everyone is filled in and bring them up to this point.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, we were probably standing in the library watching you through the door, like Juniper down low in the chair, like me kind of up higher, peeking over.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more to this castle than I thought.
Yeah, this is good. We need someplace big because we don't just want our team here. We got to be able to bring other teams and try to get the whole war going.
Yeah. Do I see a way to get down to where those main doors are if we're up here on the balcony?
Sorry, to be clear, the master bedroom doors that you've observed?
The double doors that you mentioned.
Yeah, they're on this balcony with you.
Oh,
so
okay.
So sorry. No, perhaps I'm being unclear. In terms of the balcony itself, it's basically think like if you're on the second floor of a library and there's that sort of central space. So if you're up here, you could look down onto the Great Hall, whether to observe a dance or any other thing that's going on.
So if we were in this Great Hall with the wyvern,
yes,
the wormling.
Yeah, with the wormling. So
Right,
this is essentially what you couldn't see from down there, but you can now see from up here is, in addition to just being kind of like a platform around that you could observe from, there's these big double doors set right at the front, which kind of makes sense because the master bedroom kind of being at the center of the keep above the throne room has a bit of a beautiful symmetry to it. And then there's another large rounded door on the opposite side of the landing from you, which you could safely assume would be the lab.
Okay. Quinny will turn back and say, I say we check the bedroom first for 2 reasons. A, I think it's more likely that he's in the lab right now. So it'll be good to get any kind of intel or anything like that out of that room first. And 2, if he is in the bedroom, it's probably where he's most vulnerable because, he's in his bedroom, he's in his jammies, he's whatever.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
I think, that easier door to get through. There might even be a key in there that'll help us that maybe they didn't find.
Or a diary.
Sam said,
diaries are great. Diaries are super good.
Okay, yeah, let's do the bedroom.
Okay. And I'm going to approach and check the door for traps first.
I mean, you rolled a 20 a little ways back, so I'm just going to say you got this, man. You approach the door to find it slightly ajar. You check it for traps. There don't seem to be any. You ease the door open and find yourself in a beautifully well lit room. There's a massive bed that is flanked by big sort of glass, frosted, of course, because of the ice, but double doors with curtains wide, tied off, that look out over the off the edge of the mountain. There seems to be kind of a balcony space out there. It's one of those giant beds that has like the 4 posts and then what I always think of as the Ebenezer Scrooge awning.
Right. Like the canopy kind of thing over it. And
yep.
Yeah.
There's a big massive desk, in one corner, a bookshelf, sort of like a little alchemical mini bar. Generally speaking, it's a very nice looking bedroom.
Quinny raises his hand and says, I call this room.
Oh, see, that's cute, but no, you abdicated. This is a king's room, but you could stay in here with me. We can do a bunk bed thing.
Can I just say that, tactically, this might be better used as something other than a bedroom due to its location?
I mean, reasonable point. Let's focus on taking over the castle, and then we'll figure out sleeping arrangements.
Which is when, of course, your eyes... after the quick bickering about positioning and calling shotgun, your eyes fall upon the figure in the bed. The crimson, thick crimson covers are pulled back slightly, and the massive overstuffed pillows of this king plus a bit size bed. There is a desiccated, withered body that is slightly out of the covers are pulled down a little bit. It's kind of like at a weird angle. But laying in the bed, its skin has become a sort of that dark kind of leathery look that mummies tend to get. It's wearing finery, a beautiful sort of golden sleeping cap, a very fancy robe. There's an amulet hanging around the neck, and one of the arms is broken, just kind of mid wrist, and missing a hand hanging off the edge of the bed.
I think Butthole would walk up to the bed and just gently sit down and lean into the body and go, Duke Fane, do you want to wake up so we could talk to you about the trolls who broke into your house? We'd like to negotiate a rental agreement of some kind.
The body does not react.
Are you dead? Is your amulet magic? If we put on your amulet, can we talk to you?
Body continues to not react.
Quinny, can you look at this amulet? Because I'm curious about it, but it feels like it might be a trap in my head.
Well, I mean, you're the cleric and you're the paladin. Don't you guys have evil protection stuff?
I mean, roll me an Arcana check if they want.
I mean, Juniper's Arcana is not that great. I mean, all of my stuff is kind of for when people are still alive. I
But-
don't think this.
I guess I'll just pray on it. You know, it's never served me wrong. Like when it was definitely that guy on the left making all the black stuff.
Oh god, that Quinny will just like grab the amulet.
As your hands close, or your hand closes around the amulet, a great power flows through you. The power of knowing that you could sell this and earn some coins from it. The power of commerce, but nothing else.
And Quinny is just like, oh,
Wait,
this
what?
is worth a lot.
Okay, perfect.
He
So
pockets it.
yeah, so we'll take half the value.
Juniper's just going to like desks, drawers, seeing if there's anything, any clues, any writings, anything
That's
at all.
perfect. Because we can melt that amulet down, and half of it will be coins for Quinny, because Quinny did a great job at finding out that it was safe. And the other half we can turn into a crown, because if I'm going to try to be some kind of upstart king, I got to get a friggin' crown. But okay, yeah, let's check this place out. Quinny, you want to look for money stuff. Juniper, you look for evidence, because you're really smart. And I'll look for anything that has religious significance.
All right. So Juniper, can you roll me, I guess a perception check probably, or an investigation? I'd take either one. Quinny, I'm sorry, Butthole, you're looking for religious icons. Quinny, what are you looking for?
General looting and also intel on our scientific
so
neighbor.
You can roll me an investigation as well, please.
Yeah, I think Butthole's in that realm of like, what does Moonhammer draw him to? Which can also be, what does he find interesting?
That's a 7 perception.
Cool.
Nat 20!
Nice. 18 investigation for Quinny.
18. All right. So Quinny, you begin to look around the room, and everything in here is fancy. More so than any of the other rooms you've been in. This one feels, the gallery actually to some extent felt this way, but this feels like money. Like this feels like like everything from the robe to the bedding to even just the quality of the table. Like this is a fucking expensive room. And as you begin to look, you notice there isn't really much by way of physical coin in here. There is, you find a ledger book that seems to list accounts with a few banking guilds that you're aware of. They're like the old banking guilds, so it would make sense, but kind of like essentially like credit accounts. From a quick glance, as would be confirmed by finding nothing in the vault, it seems like this guy didn't keep his wealth on him. He, had people deal with it, but it wasn't something he kept on him. He's clearly spent it on the things that would keep him personally comfortable, and then just kind of let the rest run. But Butthole, you rolled a nat 20, and you're led by your heart. So as the investigative crew is like looking for things, you think about like where you would keep, a picture of Quinny if you needed to. Where do you think Butthole's like, this is where I would keep my secret stuff feeling would be? God help me. No matter what you say, it's the right place. So like where in his room would he hide? Just think of that Lisa Simpson, like, have you checked your shoe? Sometimes when I lose things, I find them in my shoe.
I was gonna say, so is this depends on how what kind of painting of Quinny we're talking about, because there's a clothed or an unclothed painting. There's one that he needs to hide from people because he'd be embarrassed if they were aware of it.
This is like your heart picture. Like this would be like the locket version.
He doesn't have either,
okay.
but if he did, is more the
this
question.
isn't like a horny picture. This is like, the picture you take out to look at.
For Butthole.
Then I feel like probably the equivalent of where other people would have like a fireplace and a mantle, and they might have like candelabras or something, and a big portrait of like their family crest or whatever. But behind the fake thing that's the most important,
Okay,
there'd
cool.
be like a little cubby with the thing that's really important.
Yeah. So you're staring at a picture on the wall over the mantle that is really out of place amongst all this finery, even out of place amongst the other images in the gallery. This one is it seems clearly painted by like an enthusiastic amateur. So like in modern terms, something that someone would make at a paint night. And it's just of two people holding hands on a dock at sunset on kind of a beautiful lake. And everything else here looks expensive. This looks important. So you take you kind of pull the picture forward, and sure enough, a sheath of papers falls out from being tucked in behind it. And I think you kind of like everyone in the room kind of hears this happen. It's the very classic like flutter, flutter, flutter important stuff. Yeah, do you guys all like gather to look at it? What's the scene here?
Yeah, he's not hiding it, so I guess he'd probably pick up what dropped and then put it on the desk so they could all kind of look it over simultaneously.
Given that I've perceived a bedroom and a dead body with my 7.
Yeah, with that 7, killed it.
I'll go over.
Yeah, you just like drive out and over to the bedrooms again.
Quinny's flipped to a new page in the ledger, and he's pricing out all the objects in this room.
Fair enough. So Butthole, in a very grand script, similar to what you kind of remember, almost of like similar to what the Warbringers would like. They're like just that kind of like in like Western historical terms would be kind of like those incredibly beautiful old books that like monks would make, where just the calligraphy was like 8 times more complex than it needed to be. So it's written in that, even though it's just on these sort of scraps of paper. But you find a confession from Duke Fane entitled "One Last Failure." So as you settle in to read it, the Duke's words sort of echo through your head. It says, "To whoever may find this, it seems appropriate here in my bastion of failure that I should in fact have one final one terrible one, the one that undoes everything I have attempted to do here in this place. I turned my back on my arts, on war, on the world itself, in the hopes of finding peace here with my beloved Sarah, and yet my attempts at bringing her into this world once more have failed horribly, fatally, and finally. Despite the best technological inventions that money can buy, the wealth of generations of war squandered on it, the new body did not hold. And perhaps this is the price I pay for all the others I have ripped unwittingly from their rest and brought back to make war on this world. That now the one I desire to bring back for love and companionship refuses and does not. I have cast off the last of my wards and have ceased to take the life-prolonging potions that I have indulged in for so many years, and now settle down one last time to rest. It seems appropriate that my bastion of failure can stand testament to one man's hubris and loneliness. Sarah, if in some way you do manage to come back into this world, one way or another, I pray you forgive me and think fondly of me. I'll always remember the lake in these final moments. Farewell, all. Do better than I did. Duke Fane.
Oh man, this dude was really sad. Well, if we run into anybody named Sarah in the lab, we got to make sure she's doing okay. It's the least we can do for the guy whose amulet we took.
All right. I've got a pretty good assessment of everything here. Everyone else good to pay a visit to that laboratory?
Yeah, I think it's time for us to solve the final part of the mystery, which is how fast can Clomp Samsonite die?
The answer may surprise you, as Quinny just like pockets the clipboard and heads out the door.
Amazing. You make your way out to the lab to discover again this rounded door with a complex mechanism that seems to have locked it. A mechanism that is very clearly a handprint
Oh, that's why they busted off his hand. Just a second. Let's go back into the room and just kind of yank an arm off of the mummy if he can.
Yeah, he like it's not as easy as you'd think. Like the body's like awkwardly like flailing as you kind of pull it out of the sheets. You now realize why the bed was so disturbed, because clearly like they had the same kind of problem.
Yeah.
But eventually you just give it a 1, 2, 3, crack it off, and then just like tuck him back into bed, and you come back down with the hand.
And then I just give it to Quinny, and I'm like, I found the key.
Thanks. And I'll press the hand into if there's any clear indication of where the hand should go.
Yes, it's literally like a handprint indent.
Yeah.
So you press the hand in, and brilliant golden lines extend from it across etchings in the door, slowly covering it in golden sort of golden lines. The central part of the door lights up, and then with a hiss, the doors swing outward towards you. And taking a deep breath, the three of you step into the lab.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Elizabeth at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons logo is by Decapitated Markers at Decapitated Marker on Twitter. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. Christian Menicola, the Half-Blind Prophet. Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby. One True Artistry, Orion Birchfield. Lord Abradovic, Noel Lewis, Scott Garland, Anthony Griffin, Benjamin V, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Cade Peters, Richard Cranium, Anna Zed, Eric Williams, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Acrix, Cameron Ezel, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Austin Nut Powers Fry, Stabby Stranger, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.